What's up, NDL? The Outliers are back for a Saturday episode, and as Vic can probably tell you from our little pre-chat, this Nebraska Maryland game has definitely got me on edge. A calm edge, but an edge nonetheless. So, Vic, how are how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Florida State had me on edge earlier. Don't worry. It's I don't want to talk about them. All right, that's enough of that. All
But
right.
if we can talk about one play real quick. That play before the half, that throw to Thomas, that was wild.
It
I'm
was.
like, kid, you do that for me on the game? That's the first thing that came out my mouth. I was in friends with Discord. I was like, "Oh my god, did you guys see that throw by Tommy?" And they clicked over. It's like, "Wow, that's crazy." I'm like, yeah, I wish you could do that in the game for me. Sorry.
Man, I be shaking my head during West Virginia games. I be like, damn, I run a way better offense than they do. Ooh.
Yeah, someone mentioned in chat about the just terrible clock control, and he's right. I forget who it was. Someone will probably remind me, but yeah, we and the NDL control or run are better at clock management than actual teams, and that's really depressing. Though there have been some instances where it's been pretty bad in the NDL too, but I digress. But we are not here to talk about what's actually going on, you know, football. We're here to talk about some NDL ball. And we're gonna talk about the bowls. We have the list of all the bowl games. We'll go over that in the second half of the show, but the outliers is primarily focused on the G5. So we're still going to prioritize them. And the first thing that we have to talk about is the conference champion or are the conference championship matchups. Some really good games. And Vic is Nostradamus because he was definitely on the mark on how some of the games will play out. So, sir, I will let you lead the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we both was on it. I can't take all the credit. Of course, we both pretty much set up how the games will go. But we're gonna start in the Sun Belt Conference as Appalachian State does get the victory over Arkansas State, 42-14, I believe. It was a close matchup in the first half. The run game, as we said, was dominating for App State, and then turnovers reared this ugly head at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half, and that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, his two leading running backs combining for over 200 yards. I mean, it's crazy work. Two running backs over 1,000 yards. That is what you call great offensive line play, creating holes both sides of the field, and they controlled the clock. But the turnovers, three interceptions, two fumbles, you said it going in, got to protect the ball, got to stop the run. Struggle stopping the run, and then turnovers lead to short fields. Your defense is going to be tired being stuck on the field trying to deal with those two terrors at running back. And he was able to pull away in the second half. And App State, your Sun Belt champs. Good, good season for Brady over there with the Mountaineers.
Question is, do he keep the Mountaineers for next season?
Hmm. Yeah, they're running back to defend the crown, or maybe look at one of those P4 schools that may pique his interest. We'll have to see.
Definitely, I have to see. Well, next up, we're going to talk about the Mountain West. We did say in the preview show that Coach iRock is going to have to come to a fast start and not try to come from behind. And he definitely did that. He ends up winning the Mountain West over UNLV. And it was not even close. It was 31-10. Um, didn't see much of the game. I believe I was busy doing something, but when I did catch it, it was 21-3. And I just smiled and laughed because we both mentioned that he needed to get out to a fast start, and boy, did he. He took care of business. He didn't let the upset linger at all, and pretty much dominated from start to finish.
Yeah, 21-3 in the second quarter. And it's been a really interesting season because IROC has definitely been known to be one of those guys that's gonna run the ball and run the ball and run the ball some more. And this year, no Ashton Genty. Sherrod's not bad, but obviously he's nowhere near what you had with Ashton. And what could you do offensively to add to the passing game in Madsen? Like almost a balanced attack, 17-yard difference between the rushing and passing. And Boise State's defense coming coming to the mic here, holding UNLV, who's been running the ball pretty well, to 24 yards rushing. Definitely the easiest way, and I know it's difficult because stopping the pass is still hard, but I'd rather, as a coach and as a player in the game, I'd rather know that my opponent's just going to pass the ball because I can focus on just trying to stop the pass. When you're able to make a team one-dimensional, it only helps your cause. And three interceptions by the Boise State defense, four turnovers total for UNLV. And Boise State, they go back to back as Mountain West champs.
All right. Continuing on our path, you're gonna like the next play I'm ahead of you in the Nebraska game. But um, we're gonna talk about the Wild Wild West or the Wild Wild Midwest in the MAC conference. Um, it was Western Michigan and Central Michigan, a rivalry game, and it was back and forth throughout. Um, Close game, back and forth, high scoring game. This was the only game that what we said in the preview did not happen, but it was fun and exciting to say the least. Western Michigan gets a late touchdown to take the lead with a few seconds left. Chip desperation, play did not work, and Western Michigan comes out on top, 34-33. They are 11-2. Probably are gonna be ranked in the final poll if they get their bowl win. But big upset here. Metro D bounces back from a few seasons ago where he was on top with South Carolina, kind of fell off and then left the league, came back, and is back on top with Western Michigan. Very close game with him and Chip. How did you feel, and what are your thoughts about this game here?
Well, there is one play in particular that I'm thinking of. The worst thing to have happen defensively is have the ball come at you as a user and feel that you're getting an interception. And it's
Yeah,
not only is it not an interception, it's not an incompletion, it's a reception. So
the
just
worst, the
watching
worst.
that, I put my head down. And obviously Chip was surprised by that. But Chip is no, it was a really fun game. You like to see you like to see a conference championship game go to the last drive. You don't want it to be a blowout or a team pulling away. You want it to be a close game, represent the best of what the conference has to offer. And the MAC has been fun. I've said it on the podcast before, watching the MAC and just their conference chat, it felt like this group was a really good bunch. It's like Mountain West like, where they're rooting each other
Yes.
on. Every time someone played a game, you've got the other people in the conference, whether they're typing in the live chat or actually typing in the stream, watching the game and rooting on their fellow conference members. So it's nice to see it come full circle to a game that comes down to the final drive. Unfortunate for Chip that he gets the loss, but Metro D looking really similar to that South Carolina season, just finding a way to win. So he is your
Definitely.
MAC champ. And did you know? I don't know if you caught it in
Uh-oh.
the live chat that he is a I I'm pretty sure I have this right. I made a note. So if I'm wrong, it's because I took the note wrong. That he's a graduate student at Michigan State. You got two
Oh,
graduate students in the MAC championship. I thought that was pretty cool.
look at that. Look at that. Michigan State. That it may be an opportunity for him to grab Michigan State
Yeah, it'd be pretty
in
cool
the
to see
draft.
them running back that matchup back with their teams. That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. Get a little revenge for CG there.
Oh, CG.
CG, I'm proud of you, buddy. The next game we have on tap, and this game really took our analysis to a T from the preview show, and that is the American Championship between Memphis and Tulsa. The final score ended up being 28-21. I did watch a lot of this. Um, Tulsa, with the ground game, was able to manage possessions and able to fight off the speed that is Memphis and able to limit possessions for Memphis to order in order to keep the game close. And it was close. He was driving with about a minute left in the red zone, but threw an interception, and that basically sealed the deal. 28-21 Memphis. Memphis has a 10-win season, 10-3, and they have a bowl matchup that is very intriguing that we will get to later. They have a bowl matchup that's very, very intriguing. But Tulsa does too, and they dropped to 11-2. And what are your thoughts about this game here? Because this was a close game, and it really took our analysis and put it in the game. Like everything we both said about this game really played out.
Yeah. To me, the best offense when you're playing against an elite offense, the best offense is just holding on to the ball. Limit the possessions, put the pressure on them to have to maximize the ones that they have. Because I mean, if you have a good offense, you want to play in a shootout because you know the more you have the ball, the more plays you have, big plays are more likely to happen. Yeah, you can live with a turnover or two, but when you force a team with a high powered offense to play a slow grind out game, it's frustrating. They may take more shots. Those turnovers hurt a lot more because those possessions become really valuable. And Tulsa did a good job running ball. Memphis did too. Greg Jr., a buck 24 on the ground with a touchdown. And he's had a really good season, kind of quiet because when you think of Jokers, you think of his passing offense. But Greg has had a really good season. So it's they did what they had to do. Like, you know what? If we're gonna play a slow grind out game, let's get our jerseys dirty too. We'll make it happen. And Memphis hangs on the win, and they are your AAC champ. And I know you'll be
Yes.
happy to talk about them later.
Very intriguing matchup later, Little tease for you guys, little tease. The next matchup is the last matchup of the G5 Conference Championship game, and that was our guy, No Way Jose. He did take care of business over Jacksonville State. It was close in the first half. Jacksonville State made it close in the first half, but towards the end, nearing halftime, and in the second half, Jose pulled away with the score of 34-14. He is undefeated. He is the outlier, the definition of the show. He definitely made the CFP, and we will talk about his matchup later. But first, let's talk about this game here. What did you like? What did you see in this matchup here with Jose and Glizzy?
I think this is the first time really that he had pressure on him to win a game this season because we all knew he kind of put himself as a front runner being undefeated or being the remaining undefeated team in the G5, and then now you have the focus, the spotlights on you, and as you get closer to the end of the season, those games, this the the pressure starts to magnify a little bit more. In this one, hey, you got to win. The easiest way to get in is take care of yourself. Don't leave it up to the committee. Don't leave it up to other teams to try to help you. Put yourself in. And it's one thing that Tom Brady talked about a lot when he played in the NFL. The middle half, the end of the first half, the start of the second half. The really good teams close out the first half, whether it's forcing turnovers to get points or closing out drives to get points, and then starting the second half with the ball, going down and scoring, and just that 5 minute window, or I guess for our purposes in the NDL, 5 minute window can really turn the tide of a game. And he pitched a shutout in the second half. He made the proper adjustments defensively. He remains undefeated. He is the outlier. And yeah, he has quite the matchup in the CFP.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it in real life. Shout out to Nebraska for winning that, and shout out to Indiana for going on the road and beating Oregon.
I was trying so hard to focus on my words and not say anything because I got that on the other monitor. I'm just like cheering, yelling in
I,
my head.
that's what I'm here for. I got you. I made the assist for you. I got you. I got you. But I'm gonna call that one with Indiana and Oregon. It's basically GG's in the chat for that one, even though it's still a couple minutes left in that game in real life. But shout out to them for the big win.
Yeah, Pat pretty
Um,
much summed up Oregon, or sorry, Oregon, Indiana properly. So yeah, they're they're real. They're for real.
Now, speaking of the outlier that is Missouri State, they are the 12th seed in the CFP that got released this morning. Well, not this morning, this afternoon on College Game Day. They released the CFP rankings. There's some controversy a little bit, but no controversy in the G5 land. It was Missouri State's to lose, and they did not lose at all. They are the 12th seed. They will be taking on LSU in the first round. Now, this was supposed to be a cup matchup, but the game did not get played for scheduling reasons. It's nobody's fault. Scheduling happens. It is what it is. We all adults, so stuff happens. Life happens. Can't really blame nobody for that. Life happens and scheduling happens. So it didn't get played. It was decided on a coin flip, and LSU moved on in the cup. But they actually get to play it for real now. This is not a cup game. This is a playoff game. Let's try to preview this matchup. And how do you think Jose will fare against LSU? Do you think he's going to get 35? Because Bucknut, Coach Bucknut, is the elite class of the NDL.
I'll never disrespect anyone and say they'll get 35, but he has a very uphill battle to go in this one. So there are four things that I'm focused on when I saw this matchup. I'm like, oh man, and then I started looking over some notes I had because I thought there was a list of teams I thought he may play. This was one. Oh man. First of all, the home field advantage. So for those of you who play in the ACC, the Big Ten, and you think you know what home field advantage is, no. The SEC is a whole nother beast. LSU by itself, just the home field advantage is going to be a nightmare and tough to navigate. I don't know if anyone's remembered some of the past games with the G5 schools. I'm thinking of Marion against Duquesne. You have guys dropping the ball. You have quarterback with, sitting back in the pocket and overthrow here and underthrow here with no pressure. Those things are going to happen. How can you navigate through that to try to, you have to do a couple things. You have to try to make the throws as easy as possible, and you have to help your offensive line. So if that means keeping someone in, if that means really just checking down to the running back and just trying to find him in space and let him get those extra yards, the pseudo passing rushing attack, if you will, the easy ones, you have to navigate that home field advantage first. The guys are probably going to be coming out cold. and you're going to have to fight through that just to try to get them on equal footing to play from there. Second, Durham. He is a nightmare. 1,400 yards rushing, 750 yards receiving, over 2,000 all-purpose yards, 19 touchdowns. You have to get him down, and you have to find a way to slow him. You're not going to stop him. You have to slow him down. That is, to me, I know the numbers that Garrett has passing the ball, but it all starts with Caden in the backfield. Missouri State's going to have to find a way to slow him down. I don't know if they're going to be able to because getting him down is going to be a nightmare. And then there's the X factor, Brown, the speedster. 40 receptions, 8 touchdowns, and that's what makes it hard. What are you going to do? Are you going to try to load up the box to slow down Caden? And you have to play maybe one-on-one on the outside with Brown. That's very dangerous. Did you try to make sure you don't get beat, rally to the football with the run with less guys against a more physical offensive line than they've seen all season? Uh, It's going to be tough. You got to protect the ball. That has to be priority number one. You got to protect the ball. I don't know how you're going to get turnovers, but you have to find a way to get some extra possessions in there. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask. I think LSU, like no disrespect to Jose, great season, but I think Bucknut, the reigning champ, is going to win this game comfortably.
So my thoughts is this, and I hope Jose is listening to both of us. My bad for doing that. But I hope Jose is listening to us and what we're saying because to your point about Durham, you're on defense for Missouri State, you're just gonna have to predict run. You're just gonna have to guess run almost every time and probably get beat by the pass. Because it's one thing to get beat by the pass. You can kind of adjust to that. You can kind of use that. You can kind of see where that's going, play action, stuff like that. But stopping the run, if you can't stop the run, that's death by a thousand cuts. And that's the worst possible way for him to not be in it is to not stop the run. He needs to predict run or blitz or do anything possible that he can to go ahead and stop Durham because you got to take away something. And I feel like if you take away the pass and leave up the run, then that's going to shorten the game for you and your possessions as well. He has the talent difference, so shortening possessions won't bother him as much as it bothers you.
That's
So
a fair point.
you would rather fully commit on stopping the run at all times and just lose by the pass if you're going to lose. Now, the logical side in me saying he's going to lose by 28. The gambler side of me was like, well, what if he wins? Or what if he keeps it close? What if he is truly becoming a part of the elite class of the NDL? Yes, we know to become elite, you got to do it season after season and different teams and different types of teams. Yes, I do know that. But I feel like if he did pull off the upset, it'd be the greatest upset of all time. For one, in the NDL, and two, if you don't put him in the elite class of coaches, he's right on the level right below
I
it.
would I would say jump in real quick here. Comparing it to wrestling, since I'm a wrestling fan, it would be like Paige being called up after WrestleMania and beating AJ in her first match. Like she just had this long title reign, and you come in, walk right into the main roster, and then day one you become champion. It.
I do. I
It's
do
just
remember
really
that
tough.
movie.
There's just so it is probably to me, other than I think Jiggy and Smitty, because Smitty as a user is very good defensive. I'd say he's at worst top three in the league, but I think he's the best defensive user in the league. Um, I would say, man, that is a tough ask for your first CFP game to be on the road against Bucknut, against a team that he knows really well. He's had them for the last two games. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it'll be pretty tough. I mean, I really don't like I said, the logical part of me don't really see it happening at all. Like I don't even see them really coming close. Like it may be like a 14-point difference at halftime, but other than that, I really don't see it coming close. But I feel like this will be his crash course into the NDL right here. You think you good? You got to show us right now. Your first test. Bucknut, one of the reigning champion, by the way, the reigning champion. Not only is he a part of the elite class, he is the defending champion. So good luck, Jose. We definitely rooting for you on this side because we all root for the G5. So we're definitely rooting for you, and definitely good luck to you on that.
that game for sure. Just like the last two, especially the last one, is kind of what you said about running the ball or stopping the run is so important because you had Noel last season with MJ Kemp, who ran the ball really well, and that was the G5 matchup. And the game was close in the first half, but then eventually the trench play set in half two, and then you start turning the ball over, things start to fall apart. Georgia and MC, the same thing. Close first half. I remember the big play on I think it was an angle route out the backfield for 90 plus yards. You get a touchdown and you get a stop. But then Georgia just said, no, we're not going to even put the ball in the air. We're just going to run the ball. And the trench play dictated how that game played out. So the question above all to me will be, how do you're not going to win in the trenches, but how can you limit how much damage it causes? Oh, we'll definitely be watching that game and looking forward to seeing how it plays out. And of course, next episode we'll be back to talk about in detail what happened in that game and our thoughts going forward. But we know G5 wise, there's other things to talk about. We're going to save that for the next episode because I have to make sure that my guy here can get to his Cubs game. So we're going to talk about the bowl games because there are a lot of bowl games. And of
There
course,
are.
there are some really interesting matchups of G5 versus G5. And there's some interesting matchups of a G5 taking on a power conference team that caught our eye. So we wanted to give the full list. Unfortunately, I did not have time to prepare, so we don't have the nice, cool, graphics. But we'll give out the list. We have them, and we will. I guess we can start at the top.
Yes. And if anybody needs the list, I can post a picture of the list in the live chat. If anybody needs it, just tag me. Just tag me. That's all y'all do. Just tag me. Uh the first bowl I want to do is special to my heart. And it's not me. It's not me. We're not talking about me right now.
Well, I know we're not talking about
It, it, it is the Bucked Up LA Bowl.
Gronk Spike.
Gronk is hosting this, so we're gonna get a Gronk spike somewhere. Um, it is between UCLA and Colorado State, And damn it, I am so proud of Beer Cop. Look at Coach Beer Cop making a bowl game.
Yeah, good season for
I am
him. A bowl game and a win on BBB too.
man, and a win on BBB. He is high on life right now this season. He is riding the wave. I don't give a damn about no stats or none of that. I am picking Colorado State all the way and Coach Beer Cop.
Well, I hate to go I hate to go against our guys here, but now I've been around the NDL for a long time. UCLA has a good coach, Coach Texas fan, one of the masters of coach speak, but he's a good dude. I know it probably disappointing for him to not finish 500. He finishes 5-7, but he is at home. You get the extra game, and I Tennessee fans might be a little upset, but I just feel that Nico, with the speed, the lack of speed that Colorado State has, UCLA's offense, I think they'll be able to get done what they need to get done to pick up the bowl win. So in terms of the meter per se of cold versus hot for should the Power Four team be concerned, I would say I think it's not freezing cold, but it's cold. I feel confident that UCLA is going to pick up the win.
I don't care if it's P4 and G5. I don't care if it's UCLA and Colorado State. I don't care about the stats. I don't care about how they coach. It's all about Beer Cop for me. That is it. That is it. He made a bowl. That is my guy right there. Shout out to him. This straight sentimental pick. It may not go out. I don't care if I lose that. Like if we was doing predictions, I don't care. It's just the fact that he made a bowl, and I am proud of that. You can
All
get the next one. You
all
can
right.
you can go ahead.
The next one is kind of funny because it's the Salute to Veterans Bowl. You have James Madison and Coach Jason at home against Toledo and Coach Football Kelly. So James Madison finishes the season 6-6, Toledo 5-7. And I can't speak for Football Kelly, but I know that Jason may slightly be distracted by a game that came out recently that ties into this bowl. So my biggest question is, will he be able to focus, like hold off Battlefield enough to be able to focus on this game? I think this will be an interesting game. James Madison definitely has some things going against him in terms of talent, but I do think that this game comes down to the last couple of minutes and James Madison holds the lead. They get the ball back and they're able to run out the clock and find their way to a victory.
Mm, I agree with you. Rumor has it some of the key players in James Madison is already looking to transfer because they have an unfocused coach at this moment. Uh, so I am definitely going to give it to Toledo. Toledo has been a Midland team in the MAC, but the MAC has been very good. So being, bowl eligible or right on the fence of bowl eligible in the MAC this season was not an easy thing to do. So I'm going to go with Toledo as well.
You got the next one.
I definitely got the next one. It is the Staff DNA Cure Bowl. This is a bowl all about cancer and especially breast cancer. We have Ball State, South GA, Coach South GA, and Old Dominion in this bowl matchup. What are your thoughts on this bowl matchup? You like the Old Dominion
I do. I
beginning
think,
of the season.
yeah. He didn't finish as high as I thought he would in the Sun Belt. I mean, both teams are 6-6, but Old Dominion had some really fun games to watch. Back and forth game with Iowa on the road. And that is a team that does have home field advantage. And Old Dominion, I can tell you on paper, is not really the team to match up against stopping that rushing attack. But he played his butt off and he ended up losing that one by three. It was a very fun watch. He lost to App State by 3 points. He lost to James Madison by 3 points. So he has experience of playing against a good combination of coaches and teams and having some disappointing results, but showing that he can hang. He will be the road team in this one. If I'm picking, I gotta go with my guy. Gotta go with the track star, Old Dominion. I think they win this by 2 scores, 10-point game.
All right. I'm gonna go with Ball State actually. Gonna go with Ball State. He got bowl eligible 6-6, I believe, and or 7-5, I believe is a sim in there as well. But definitely got bowl eligible in the MAC. Like I said, not an easy thing to do this season. He has a highly exciting offensive style that's gonna, I feel like, is gonna carry him through the bowl. So a few of his games, he's gonna get at least in the 40s maybe in this matchup here because they're similarly rated teams. So watch out for a high scoring matchup. His passing game is going to be all over the place. He's going to give up a six and then throw a 70-yard touchdown the next play.
That's
So,
about right.
so it is the quintessential G5 type of team that he has, and I'm definitely going to roll with Ball State in this.
It should be interesting. So if you look at Ball State, Metro D lost by a point. Miami of Ohio lost by a point. In both those
Yeah,
games, you put up over 50. And
50.
then
Yeah,
Akron lost by a field goal, ranked opponent there. So, and then also Eastern Michigan. It's one of the four teams atop that tiebreaker mountain in the MAC, lost by a score. So he also has shown against really good competition that he can hang. So this is definitely a matchup to watch for sure. Top five bowl matchup in my opinion.
definitely, definitely.
All right. Speaking of Akron, up next, 68 Ventures Bowl. You have Coastal Carolina hosting Akron. Just talked about Akron. They were ranked. They have had a great season. They finished with double-digit wins, which is not easy to do. 11-1. Lost out on playing in the MAC championship due to a tiebreaker, just not having the loss to the right team. And Coastal Carolina, their opponent, and of course I just scrolled right by them and right by them again, 10-2. So another really fun matchup. Two high-powered offenses, both with double-digit wins, both just falling short of playing in a conference championship. But in the terms of the G5 rankings, I think this is a pretty high-powered bowl matchup. How do you see this?
It is. This is a sneaky good matchup. Coach Nadog and Akron have a very good squad over there in Akron. He coaches them up well. They follow the game plan that he sets out and they execute. Coastal Carolina as well, or that's a 10-win team as well. So this is a good matchup. I'm going to go with Akron because like I've been saying the whole time this show, it seems like the Mac is a high powered offense, and I feel like the offensive firepower will be too much for Coastal.
I'm gonna agree with you there. It's crazy to say, and you definitely know it's the NDL, that you're battle tested playing in the MAC. That's just how I feel. The matchups there have been big, and then the biggest matchup he had all season was playing Central Michigan, Coach Chip, and he lost by just a touchdown. That was a really well played game by both coaches. So he has shown that he can compete with the big boys. And if I'm picking a guy, I'm riding with him in this one.
Okay. All right. All right. The next bowl we have up is the bowl that Coastal Carolina wish they could have got into, but did not. It is the Myrtle Beach Bowl that is, I believe, played in Coastal's home field. So it is the matchup between Kennesaw State, Coach Neal, and Kent State. How do you see that matchup going?
Oh boy. This will be an interesting one. You've got Kent State with Drewski 6-6. And man, you want to talk about being pretty close. Point differential, just 6 points. The only difference. 4-4 in conference, 2-2 out of conference, like almost symmetrical there. But I think the thing that probably stands out to me is that he's 2-4 on the road. The road games he struggled out the gates. And I feel if Kennesaw State can get off to a good start, they're going to be in good shape. And I think that's how this is going to play out. Neil offense is not as high powered as what Kent State is seen in the map, but I feel to be able to control the ball and find their way home to a victory late.
Just want to update people, to people that are watching this live and may not be watching some of the games. Northwestern did beat Penn State, so James Franklin will be fired soon this week. But as far as the game is concerned, the bowl game is concerned, I'm gonna have to go with Coach Neal. Um, Game day already listed out the committee members. That is a fellow committee member of mine. He's a real good dude, and any team, I'm gonna go with any team that gets Kennesaw State to a bowl game because that team is terrible.
Yeah, they really are.
So if you can coach up that team to a bowl win, then yeah, I'm gonna go with you. Plus, I'm gonna scare you away from the MAC schools. I picked MAC schools the last two times, so I'm gonna veer to the left right there and go with Kennesaw State in that one.
Oh, we may have to adjust the spread on that. Drewski is like, uh-oh, no faith in us. Bulletin board material. So
No bulletin
that
board
line
material.
dropped
No
right away.
sir. No sir. No sir. No more bulletin board material. It's just the prop up Neil, Coach Neil, and the job he done at Kennesaw State. Like that roster is bad. It's terrible.
Oh man, some of these G5 schools definitely hurt to look at the roster. Like, man, how do they field the team?
How do they build a team? You are so right about that.
And then, well, next we've got the Gasparillo Bowl, the Union Home Mortgage. Man, these long names. You got Rice
Um,
hosting Arkansas State. So Arkansas State definitely probably smarting a little bit. Uh, Rough ending to the season, losing. No, just the third quarter really did them in against App State, though they still finished 7-6, and really bounced back after a slow start to the season. On the other hand, got Rice, and Rice 7-5. Eward, Eward, sorry. Offense pretty solid, nice ground
new
attack
coach, newer coach, newer coach came in mid-season.
at midseason and locked those games in. Love to see it. So I'm pretty sure it comes as no surprise. Steelers probably one of my favorite people in the league to watch. I'm not gonna pick against Dealer. I'm gonna pick Arkansas State to win this game. He's gonna finish out strong, and I'm like 99% positive that he's going to move on to another school. This was one of those bounce back. We need to get some points for the draft for next season type seasons. I'm guessing probably not as many as he might have hoped for, but I think that he's going to go out of the G5 this season with the win.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I got Coach Dealer in this game. No disrespect to the Rice coach, but I'm going to go with the more established vet and Coach Dealer. Like you said, just a bounce back, get right year to get those points up to get back into the Power Four. May not get a high level Power Four, but probably going to springboard into the Power Four and then springboard back to top, hopefully. Um, I feel like his high powered offense, despite the turnovers, his high powered offense is going to lead the charge against Rice. All right, next up, we got one of the OG Bowl games now, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. And we have a very interesting matchup here.
Yes.
We have Central Michigan fired up Chip, and we have Nevada Coach Pirate. So, what are your thoughts on this game? This is a very good bowl game right here.
My first thought is if you had asked me this 2 weeks ago, my opinion probably would have been different. Nevada was undefeated in conference play. They looked like they were on course to sail into the Mountain West Championship game, and then they did. They got shut out against Boise State and pick up another loss and fall out of contention for the championship game. So I'm not sure which Nevada team are we getting. Are we getting the team that played the last two blocks of the season? Or are we getting the team that played the first two-thirds of the season? I'm not sure which one. I do know at Central Michigan, they're riding high. And I know even though they lost their last game, it was a close game, it was a tough loss to swallow. But they have been playing really good football over the last couple of blocks. It would be hard for me to bet against Chip, given just I don't know what to expect out of Pirate Flag right now. I know he's a good coach, but Nevada just don't know what happens in the last two blocks.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in the last two blocks either. Um, he hasn't said anything, or nothing has happened. So I guess it was just bad luck of the draw, or um, offense wasn't in rhythm, or defense wasn't in rhythm. Could have been just that, but I feel like he's gonna try to bounce back to get the extra points for the bowl win. But I'm gonna go with Coach Chip, one of the founding fathers of the G5. Um, it's just he knows that team in and out. He does great with that team, no matter who the opponent is. And so, unless you have an opponent that's well, well, well rated above him, he's gonna do well regardless. So, I'm gonna go with Coach Chip and the Chippewas.
I'll be going with Chip as well. And IROC says the power of a newborn. That clearly can that clearly can knock you off your game, among
Yeah,
other things.
yeah.
So yes.
Oh, so we understand. Yeah, since that's the case, yeah, we definitely understand.
All right, next bowl game. We've got the I know I'm gonna mispronounce it. Boca Raton, Raton
Boca
football.
Raton, Boca Raton.
Yep. You can tell that I'm a West Coast guy, so I'm not getting that right. Uh, Ohio hosting Louisiana. This should be a fun game. You've got Coach Jordan, fellow Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, 7-5 with the Bobcats. So again, another team in the MAC represented in a bowl game. We'll love to see it. And he will be taking on one of my favorite guys in the league, Ninja Nano. the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, also 7-5, was
The
very
sneaky one.
close to making the South Sun Belt, man, talking hard. Sun Belt championship game. He lost the dealer late, and that knocked him out of contention because of the tiebreaker. This should be a fun game. Both have fun offenses to watch. Ninja Nano can do some really deceptive things as a user defensively. So I'm curious to see if he has anything, new to show off in this one. Man, this is a tough one. I feel like I'm either betting against the Bucks or betting against Ninja Nano. I don't like doing either one. I'm gonna give the nod to Ohio in this one. It's his first season in the league, 7-5. I know Ninja Nano's been really solid the last couple of seasons, but I'm gonna take Jordan a close one.
I'm gonna agree with you here. I'm gonna take Coach Jordan as well. Very sneaky good coach right there. Knows what he's doing with that Ohio team. Um, got them to bowl eligibility as you see. I believe the offense, as we've said about these MAC teams, the offense is going to be a little bit overpowering for Louisiana and Indiana, and I believe this is going to be a shootout as well. But I'm going to go with Coach Jordan in Ohio as well. Next up, we have the New Orleans Bowl. Now, this game was covered on game day between App State and Middle Tennessee. App State looking to have their two pronged running attack go against Coach Weasel and his high powered offense. How do you see things turning out?
Yeah, I won't take up too much time since game day talked about it, but that rushing attack by App State's nasty. So I'm gonna follow the ground and pound.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Coach Brady Sr. know what he's doing. That two-headed monster of a running back attack plus the tight end, it's gonna be hard to be beat right there.
Yeah. Well, up next, we've got the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Sam Houston against UNLV. Now, Sam Houston, well from last season. Coach
Yes, we do.
Adelopes, 8-4. So also following up with a bowl appearance. Adelopes, really solid defensively. So good to see him bounce back and make a bowl game. On the other side, you have UNLV, Coach Black Rain. He loves to run the ball, and he just finished runner up in the Mountain West, losing in the conference championship game, but getting there. Oh, he had a good season as well, going 7-6. I'm gonna have to go at Adelopes here. I I don't really. I feel like this is gonna be a game that he pulls away late in the fourth quarter, but
Mhm.
his offense will be good enough to get off to a good start and try to take UNLV out of just running the ball and limiting the possessions. But a user play in the second half will help give him some breathing room and make it a little easier to coast to the finish with the dub.
I'm gonna go with my heart here in Sam Houston. Fun fact. Fun fact. This is the same bowl matchup from last season.
Hmm.
I played I played Black Rain in the bowl matchup last season with Sam Houston. So this is a rematch of season 32's bowl. And I got Sam Houston and Addie Lopes right here. Going with my heart right there. Love the guys out there in Sam Houston. Hunter Watson is going to be dealing and willing and doing what he needs to do to get the victory. So up next is the Christmas Eve special, the Sheridan Hotel's Hawaii Bowl between Coach Big Z and San Diego State and Coach Merrill in Louisiana Tech. I have Louisiana Tech for the obvious of reasons. This is a matchup. Now that I look at the matchup, once again, this is a matchup between the Outliers alma maters right here. So I'm gonna go with my alma mater. What say you?
Of course, I'm going with San Diego State. I have trust in Big Z, who also is a fellow alum. So I know that he'll bring a dub home for the right school. So go Aztecs.
Nah. It's gonna be Coach Merrill bringing it home with Bulldogs there in Ruston. Let's go, dogs. He's gonna bring it home from Hawaii to Ruston. This is basically the outlier bowl right here. This is definitely the outlier bowl right here. This is not the Sheridan Hawaii Bowl. This is the outlier Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah. I just need
Uh,
this not to be played while I'm flying so I can watch.
Me too.
Because we
I
both
need
need to
this
be in
not
the
to be
chat
played in the
watching this
middle of the
game.
day. We do not need this in the middle of the day. If you guys are listening, we do not need this in the middle of the day. We need this at a appropriate time so we both can be in a live chat, updating the score and talking about this game.
Oh, yeah. The trash talk will be real.
Real, very real, very real.
All right. Up
Uh,
next, we have a bowl that is, this is a, man, I hate this bowl so much. Because I'm supposed to be rooting for the G5 schools. I really am. But you already know who I'm picking in this game. So we have the game above Sports Bowl.
yes.
You got Eastern Michigan and Cruising, who had a great season, went 10-2. Again, tiebreaker loses out on being in the MAC championship. So that forced him up atop the MAC. He was in that. And he will be at home and he will be taking on Nebraska. MGR, he finishes 6-6. A weird season for him. The big one against Miami to start, and then it's just like kind of up and down. Had that losing streak in the middle, gets back, starts losing again, gets back, but he finishes strong with wins against Penn State and Iowa. His offense is good. Johnson will cause trouble for Eastern Michigan. I think just the combination of speed and power that he has will make things difficult. And then Nebraska's got a couple of speedy guys at receiver too. I just think it really helps that Nebraska's on the road in this matchup for Cruising. He doesn't have to deal with playing in Lincoln, but I think MGR comes away with the win. And I think Vic agrees too. He's stunned silent. But we'll get back to Vic. I see.
Oh, I'm
No, never
sorry. I'm
mind.
sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
no,
agree
you're
with
good.
you. I do agree with you. I'm sorry. I do agree with you. I'm going with Nebraska as well. MGR has had that team for the last two games and the last two seasons. He knows that team um, about as well as you can know, being a fan of the team as well. So I got them coming out with the victory. The talent gap is going to be massive when it comes to those two schools. Sorry about
No,
that.
no, you're good.
Next we have the Rate Bowl. Don't know who it's sponsored by. We just know it's the Rate Bowl. Um, we have UCF, my Big 12 brethren, against Wyoming. How do you see this one going out?
Oh man, gotta love the Mountain West schools. Dak goes 6-6 with Wyoming. Played really well in conference, but man, that's a tough ass point against UCF. Maverick had a lot of like he was a cardiac kid last season with a lot of games going down to the wire. I don't think necessarily this one is going to play out that way. I think UCF has too much talent. Wyoming does not have enough speed to keep up. I think UCF
Yeah.
comfortably wins this one.
I'm going to agree with that. UCF has too much speed for Wyoming, and speed kills. So I'm going with UCF in this one.
All right. Up next, a bowl that you definitely were excited about. We have the Serve
Yes.
Pro First Responder Bowl. East Carolina hosting Cincinnati. Well, RB at Cincinnati finishes the season 7-5. Had a heartbreaking loss earlier in the season. Oh man, watching the heartbreaking losses is tough because you don't
Man.
know how to respond just watching it, let alone being a part of one. And they will be taking on East Carolina coach Bearass, 7-5 as well. And he had a good start to the season and just hit a rough patch that kind of made it. It looked like he was going to be in the race for competing for a spot in the AAC title game, and then just hit a snag with a losing streak, and that took him out. So this should be a fun one to watch. Two vets. I'm gonna go with RB in this one. It pains me to go against Bearass. I've known him in the league for a long time, but I think RB defensively will make enough plays, especially having more talent. I just think defensively, that's where he's going to hang his hat on in this one in particular. And I think it's going to cause a lot of problems for East Carolina.
Now see if RB is listening. This goes to show you that it's all in fun. The trash talk is all in fun. Because I'm going with Coach RB in this one in Cincinnati as well. I feel like he's going to put together a good scheme for East Carolina. It may be a little high scoring, but I feel like all of those close losses are going to be avenged, and he's going to get a close victory here against East Carolina. But it's still go Cubs go.
Hmm.
Next up, I am looking forward to that game. I feel like that's going to be one of the bowl games of the season. Next up, the Go Bowling Military Bowl. We have Coach D Kane in South Florida against Brother Beige and Coach and Virginia Tech. Who do you see coming out with the victory on this one?
Oh,
Two OG coaches. Two
this
OG coaches.
is an interesting one.
Two OG coaches.
I'll admit, when I first had a look at the list of bowl games, this was the one that caught my eye first because I thought this is truly a clash of styles. You've got
Yes.
E. Kane, who is going to put all the eggs in offense, and you got Virginia Tech. BT is going to play good defense. So who will be able to impose their will? Will Virginia Tech be able to get turnovers? Will South Florida be able to get out to an early lead and force Virginia Tech to have to come out of ball control and open up the offense? This is a really fun matchup. It being in South Florida kind of makes it somewhat neutral. Man, I'm really excited for this one. The question will be Virginia Tech, Beamer ball. Will we get special teams having a big impact in the game? I definitely can attest. I played Virginia Tech earlier in the season. It was right after they patched improvements to the blocking in the return game. And from that point on, watching him on special teams, noticeable impact, positive for his squad. I think special teams will help out in this game. Maybe not necessarily a touchdown, but flipping field position. I think this is a close game, but Virginia Tech wins.
I'm gonna go with DK in South Florida on this one. Um, he has put together a real good season at 9-3 at South Florida. I feel like Virginia Tech's defense isn't going to be enough for Byron Brown. Now, how I feel about him, I feel like he is a Heisman representative in real life and definitely can put up Heisman like numbers in the game. Um, I feel like that's just going to be the difference in the game is the quarterbacks. I don't have too much trust in Jerome more than I do Byron Brown. So I'm gonna go with D Kane in South Florida.
Definitely will be fun to see. Oh,
Yes.
oh man, do I really have to announce this bowl game? Oh,
Um, yeah,
uh,
yeah, you do. Yeah,
uh, up next,
in Yankee Stadium, by the way, in Yankee Stadium.
I don't mind the Yankee part so much. I mean, well, technically, we know it's not gonna be in Yankee Stadium because we can't
No,
choose where
no, no,
we can't choose where we're playing.
no. We
EA,
can EA.
but you have the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, and you have the SEC versus the Big 12. You've got South Carolina against Colorado. Oh, hurt me to say that.
That was rough for you right
It
there.
hurt me to say.
That was so rough for you. Oh my
This
god.
is an interesting bowl matchup though, because you have South Carolina, Dre finished 5-7. Man, the SEC is such a gauntlet. It's talked about all the time in the NDL. So many good coaches there at the top of the
Facts.
elite schools, but even the mid-tier programs have good coaches too, talented teams. So
Yeah.
no, 5-7 is it's tough to win an SEC. And then in the Big 12, you have Cuddy, who also went 5-7, and things just kind of started out really rough for him. After last season at Northwestern, you think he's going to CU. Sure, you lose Hunter. Sure, you lose Shador, but you're thinking that he's still going to be able to have success. And it was just a step back in terms of that. I know he'll bounce back. He's still a great coach. I like. I'll be honest with you. I really want to pick Colorado to win this game. I'm just not sure if how they're going to fare against stopping the rushing attack of South Carolina. Because man, I could speak from experience when that running back gets going, he starts breaking tackles left and right. It is a headache. Uh, Even so, I'm picking CU. This will be the only time I ever pick CU in the NDL. Mark this down. I have CU winning this game. So Teddy, you can't
Wow.
disappoint me.
Wow. 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 I played Tunney and CU this season. Real tough opponent. It was a real tough game. Real defensive game actually. Wasn't a high scoring affair at all. So I'm I'm gonna go with Colorado as well. This is one of the tough ones right here to predict. But I'm gonna go with Colorado as well. I feel like he's gonna get it together with Caden Salter and pull it out. His defense is definitely improved from the Northwestern days. So I feel like the defense is sneaky good for CU. So I'm gonna roll with Colorado on that one. Next up, we have the Fenway Bowl, of course. That's not being played in Boston. Um, we have Charlotte. We have a local matchup, actually.
Mhm.
Kind of a low key could be rivalry if that program ever gets it together in real life. But we have the University of Charlotte versus Wake Forest. Now, Wake Forest has scored a lot of points and gained the most yards in the NDL this season. Do you think that's going to carry over to the bowl game? I believe it is. I got Wake. I got Wake by at least 21.
Shoddy Max had a good season with Charlotte, but I feel kind of the same way. Just Wake is a sneaky team because they have a lot of speed. Like you think of, oh, well, they're a mid-tier or lower tier team in a power four. They have a lot of speed, and the way that offense is run, they take advantage of it. So Charlotte is going to have their hands full trying to stop the pass, and ultimately, that's going to be the call. That's been the calling card for Wake Forest all season. It's going to be the same in this. Got to go with the fellow ACC member. I think he picked up the dub. Up next, the Pop Tarts Bowl. Fun bowl and a fun matchup because you have
This is a very fun matchup.
two of the more or two of the most talented offensive coaches in the league. You've got Baylor, Coach Pat, against Pittsburgh, Mr. Devin Higgins. Both had good seasons this year. Higgins going 8-4 with a Pitt team that isn't exactly the most talented, but again, a team that has a lot of sneaky speed. They can spread it out and cause a lot of trouble in your secondary. Pat 9-3 with Baylor, runs the ball when he has to, does a good job scheming guys open in the passing game. Man, the funny thing is I know they have high powered offenses, but I really feel like it's going to end up being the defense that dictates who wins this game. I'm going to trust Pat in this one and the Baylor defense to come up with a couple of key stops on third down, maybe an interception here or there. And their offense, I think Baylor will do what it has to do in order to win this game. And I think Vic agrees with me. I'm not sure.
Yes, I do agree with you. I'm sorry about that. I do
You're
agree
good.
with you. Um, I'm not rooting for the Pittsburgh coach being a West Virginia coach, so that's not going to happen. I'm going with Pat and Coach Baylor. I'm sorry, Coach Pat and Baylor. It's going to be a high scoring affair. It's going to be a shootout. Total overall known points 82 and a half. That's the opening line there for that one. But I feel like Baylor's going to have just a little bit more defense than Pittsburgh and is going to pull it out. All right, up next, we have. I feel like I should play the song, but I don't want to get copyrighted. Um, we have the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juicy. You heard that right. You heard all of that right. All of it you heard, that's right. The Snoop Dogg Bowl, Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice. And that is going to be between Boise State and Western Michigan, two conference champions in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Look at that. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, I'd say good job for Snoop Dogg. He's doing pulling strings behind the scenes to get a good matchup. I don't know how many times we've been able to have that G5 champ against G5 champ. I didn't really get a chance to look, but I think this is a really interesting matchup. Boise got to a good start. They had a couple of slip ups during the season. They finished strong at 11-2. And then Metro D, we talked about before, bouncing back, also finishing 11-2. He had losses to Weasel, which he put up 60 points, and then a really ugly outing against Central Michigan the first time, able to get his revenge. It'd be interesting because Metro D is one of those guys. Like when I think of him, I think of the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick Patriots before they became, you know, like the first set of championships where it doesn't always look pretty, but they always find themselves in position to win the game. And I there's something to be said for that, always being able to find your way to the finish line and have a shot. Boise State, they don't have a lot of speed. To be fair, it's not that Western Michigan does either. I
I was
think
just about to say Western Michigan does
so.
not eat.
It's going to be a battle of slow teams. Like really, it's going to be a battle of slow teams. The question that I have is, will Western Michigan be able to force turnovers? Boise State, for the most part, has been really good in their wins about protecting the ball. The losses have been turning the ball over at really inopportune times. Ah, Smurf turf, I got to go with Boise State. Give the edge to the home field, and they find a way to get it done in front of their fans.
Well, I'm gonna go with Boise as well. Talent gap. Western Michigan also doesn't have speed. I feel like Boise is going to come out there and not lay an egg. It's going to be close. Could be high scoring, but I don't think so. It's going to be like a 30 ish game between both teams. But I got Boise in this one. They are the better team, so I'm going to roll with the better team on this.
All right. And I know we have some time constraints because I see the time and I know when
No, no, we can keep
that
going.
game
We
is
can
going
keep
to
going. We
start.
good. We
Well,
good. We good. We good. Don't worry. We good. We can keep going.
okay. Well, you let me know. Um,
Oh no, you good. Good.
Next up is the Letta New Mexico Bowl. You got Jacksonville State, and I just had a brain fart because I don't remember what conference they're in. Wow,
Jacksonville stays in the CUSA.
man,
CUSA. CUSA.
man, what a fail. Um, some G5 rep I am. Uh, I know Glizzy's the coach though. So at least I know that he went
Conference
eight and
USA.
five. He
Conference
went
USA.
8-5, and had a really solid season. And he'll be taking on Dub and Georgia State. They went 9-3 and came close as well to being a team representing their conference in the conference championship. But he loses to Appalachian State by one score, and that ends up being the difference of him being on the outside looking in. Jacksonville State, a loss against Mort. Maryland was ranked towards the end of the season, lost by just 5 points. Though the two big losses, Weasel by 3 scores and Missouri State by 3 scores. So the question that I guess I would have in this one, I don't know how you feel. Do you think this replicates itself, or will they get right in their bowl game?
I think I think it replicates itself. I got my guy Dub in this one. He's a very good coach. He's very motivated to get that 10th win, I believe. And I think he's going to get that win. He has that Georgia State offense coming on all cylinders. Also have the defense going as well. So I got Georgia State in this bowl game.
All right. I just have to say something real quick. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville State. I think they will. I think their offense will get the job done in this one. But man, I am in shock right now. How it has to be the interceptions. Iowa has 17 points in the first quarter.
Oh my God.
I just had to point that out because I was just in shock when I was checking the scores. Like, what in the world happened? It had to be the interceptions. Unfortunately, I'm one of those weird people that likes watching pain, so I'll watch all of Iowa's games and I'll go back and watch. But yeah, that caught my eye. Like, huh?
Oh
Like that
man.
has to be a typo. That can't be right.
Oh man. Oh God.
The one game the over is gonna hit, and it's because of the first quarter.
The one game.
It's
Well, we still got the rest of the game to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We still got the rest of the game to go.
no, fair enough. All right, you got the next bowl.
I do. Is a certain coach from SMU in the chat? Can you see that?
I swear, block this wasn't planned. I know you think it was, but I swear it wasn't planned.
No, no, no. This. I'm not gonna say nothing hateful. I'm just actually because he wanted to know who he was playing. So I actually wanted to, you know, I didn't know this was gonna be playing either, but uh I wanted to know if he was in the chat so he know who he playing and what bowl game he playing in.
Oh, I'm not sure, but yeah, that should be a fun matchup. SEC
It it is. It
SMU.
is SEC and ACC. We have the Taxplayer Gator Bowl between Ole Miss and SMU.
Oh, how do you
How
see
you
it
think it's
playing out?
gonna roll? Well, how do I see it playing? I'll go first. I'll go first. SMU has a high powered attack. Kevin Jennings and that crew, you know, they do got a good offense. Defense can turn it up at times. I've seen him in games turn it up at times with the defense. He can get key interceptions or make a key stop or get key fumbles at time. I did watch him get like two or three fumbles in a row against Louisville to kind of get him back in that game. So he can come up in the clutch with defensive stops, but that defense overall can't really stop much. And uh, Coach V. Nickel is a very good offensive coach. He will have that Ole Miss team humming. That is a sneaky good team with the update coming for the next season and then the draft coming up. Um, so I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. It's not because the rivalry or anything like that, but I feel like Ole Miss has the better defense, and hopefully it can show itself in the bowl game.
Well, I'm gonna go the other way here. I'm going with SMU. I They have a good team. I think they have the potential to be a really good team for the next handful of years as well. But in terms of the way that block is played with the Mustangs, I think that it's gonna be I think Jennings and Harden are gonna be really difficult for Ole Miss to stop. I know that sounds weird saying an SEC defense is gonna have a hard time stopping someone outside the conference, but SMU really has a lot of weapons, and I think that they can be really well balanced in the running and passing attack. Tough to key on, and because you're trying to focus on one or you're trying to adjust the focus on one during the game, that leaves other areas of the field or players open. I have SMU picking up a win. I think they won by two scores.
Okay, okay.
Well, up next we have the Kinders Texas Bowl. And we have one of our favorite kind of matchups, a power school versus a non-power school. We have Vanderbilt, a longtime vet in the league, coach AU Tiger. They go 6-6, and again, winning in the SEC is difficult. So going 6-6 is impressive. And his opponent, Che Pono, Hawaii from the
Ooh,
Mountain West, also went 6-6. So we know Vanderbilt is going to be the more talented team on paper. They're playing at home. Is Jeff Daddy getting the win, Vic?
oh man, this is one of those hard picks right here. Oh, I'm going. To, I'm going to say no. Unfortunately, I'm going to say no. I feel like this is so rare to say, but I feel like the talent gap between Vanderbilt and Hawaii is a little bit too much to handle for Che Pono. But it's going to be close. It's going to be a close game. But I feel like Coach AU Tiger and that Vandy squad is going to have one last ride, and that ride is going to be successful with a bold victory.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not changing. I'm not going to change my mind because of no. I've had more time to think about it. But when I looked at this list and I was looking at which G5 teams could beat a P4 school, this was one of the first ones that I circled. They're longtime vets. Their play styles have not changed a whole lot. Jeff does run the ball a little bit more than he has in the past, but that passing attack still can be very dangerous. And I believe that he's going to be able to protect the ball and have success with it. And for that reason, he picks up the win on the road. Go G5.
OG5. All right, next up, we have the Birmingham Bowl, the J Lab, which is like headphones and earphones. Birmingham Bowl, and that is between UTEP and Tulane. Who do you see? Because Tulane had a bad start to start the season, but came on strong late. Who do you see winning this game?
Oh boy, this is a tough one. I kind of went back and forth. Two longtime vets here as well. You got Coach Victim at UTEP. He goes 5-7. You mentioned Tulane off to a slow start. He ends up finishing the season 5-7 as well. So the battle of trying to get win number six. I'm going to go with Tulane. I know they're not the same team they were on last year's game. Thanks a lot, transfer portal. But I think they have enough pieces to get the job done in this one. Sudden Blues got confidence in him pulling out this one. Who you got in this one?
I got Tulane as well. I got Tulane as well. Keeping it short. I feel like Tulane, but watch out for the kick returner for UTEP. He may take one to the house, but I got Tulane as well.
Yeah, kick returns going to be so they could be a huge
Definitely,
backbreaker, huge backbreaker.
definitely, definitely.
Oh man, I wanted to go somewhere with that with this next matchup, but I'll be nice. I'll leave it alone. The next matchup,
Where you wanted to go? Where you wanted to go with?
um, just how like a kick return could be lead to a heartbreaking loss, and sometimes
Oh yeah,
how
yeah,
losing.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
the next matchup is the Radiance Technology Independence Bowl, and
My
we
favorite bowl game.
this is another one that I personally had circled, so you know where I'm going with this one. Tulsa hosting
Hmm.
Kansas State. You've got Kansas State. The Big 12 was a really fun conference to watch. A lot of really good coaches in that conference. Jaguars go 7-5 with the Wildcats, and then you have his opponent. Hmm. Tulsa had a really good season. Like Ryan had a Mr. Ryan Collins had a really good season. He finishes ranked. Finishes 11-2 on the year. Loses to Memphis. A one-score game in the conference championship game. I know that Kansas State on paper is a pretty talented team, but Tulsa has the pieces, I think, not in terms of overall like sheer talent. They're not one of those, pseudo E4 schools in the G5, but I think they have the pieces where it matters. They can pull the upset here. And with it being at home, I think that helps them out. It neutralizes HFA. I think Tulsa is going to win this one. I think they're going to win it by 2 scores.
Not at all. Not at all. We're gonna disagree on this one. Tulsa doesn't have enough offense to stave off Kansas State. Kansas State has a very high powered offense. Showed it in the league, in conference play this year. Showed it outside the conference this season as well. I got Kansas State by 14. Speed kills, and Kansas State does have the speed to kill Tulsa. My favorite bowl game, by the way, personally to me, that's my favorite bowl game. That bowl game in real life is played in my hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, nice. I did not know that. Good
Yes,
stuff.
indeed. Next up, we have the Music City Bowl, one of the OG bowl games, yet again. And we have an interesting matchup here as well. Two Power Four schools, one out the Big Ten and one out the SEC. We have Coach Mort in Maryland. I know he's been waiting to hear his name being called.
Hmm.
Maryland against Coach Brian and Missouri. This is an interesting matchup. How do you feel like this one is going to go out?
It's been interesting watching Maryland's season because, you know, you're watching how things are playing out, and then you're watching, teams get some wins and they start propping themselves up like, hey, trying to campaign for votes. And Mort just he was just winning and winning and winning, just not saying anything, just let it being repped on the field. It took him a while to get ranked, but he had some nice wins. He beat Steam. Steam was a team that just missed out Washington on the playoffs. I'm a Nebraska fan, an impressive win against the MGR. He's quietly had a good season. I am very curious to see how he plays in the bowl game. I think this is going to be a fun matchup, but I think that Maryland wins this one going away.
I am going to agree with you. I feel like Maryland is going to win this going away. The quarterback Malik Washington is going to have a field day against Missouri. Um, and Coach Moore, don't know if he's staying or if he's going, but he's definitely going to have a game plan and coach him up well enough to win by at least 2 scores.
And then we start getting into some interesting ones because some were mentioned on game day. A chunk of the ones that we have left, there's not that many. You've got the Alamo Bowl, Iowa State, and USC. Uh,
The
the,
battle for FSU. they
don't
they
know how I
they're
feel
both
about that.
they are both Florida State fans as well as yours truly. Um, but they've had good seasons. How you think this one's going to roll out?
This is interesting. I have not got to play against Texanol. I have played against FSU Penguin a couple of times, like more than a couple of times. Played against them quite a bit. I feel like they have two different styles. When I think of the coaches, I think of Penguin as more of a defensive guy. He may disagree, but I feel like he's more of a defensive guy, where Texano is more the offense. So we have a clashing of styles.
I
I
definitely agree.
uh, this is a tough one for me because like my gut says Texano, but I feel like I would, if I'm betting money, I would be putting it on FSU, geez, on ISU. This is a tough one for me because I feel like if Texano were to get an early lead, he could dictate terms the rest of the game. But I just feel like Penguin is going to be able to force him to play the game that he wants to play, and then we get to the fourth quarter and see how it plays out.
I feel the same way. This is a tough matchup to go. I feel like either they're going to be motivated or not motivated. Um, I'm going to go with Texano because you are right. Penguin is a more defensive coach, and Texano is more of an offensive coach. So he might draw up a playbook for it. Hopefully he does. Hopefully both of these guys take it serious to laminate or to highlight the behind the scenes, the Louisville, Iowa State, USC discussion was the longest discussion that we had last night. That discussion took about 30 to 45 minutes, I believe.
Gee,
And yeah, yeah. So that was the roughest discussion the whole night. So hopefully these guys can be motivated in the bowl game to show next season that they can be considered for the CFP, for that CFP committee.
yeah. Like I had no, I've just been kind of watching it from afar, and I've been a big fan of the way Iowa State's played this season, and USC quietly has put together a good season too. I was hoping that both of them would end up making it, the chips fall where they fall, but I thought that they both had good seasons. So I hope that we get a CFP quality matchup here because it definitely is deserving. Then up next,
So
the
sorry
Reliant
about
West
that.
Bowl, Penn State,
Yes.
The thank God, thank God Franklin isn't coaching Penn State here. You've got Nidler, our fearless
And, you
leader,
know,
coaching against
it ain't too
Arkansas.
far from it. Not too
Uh,
far from it.
ah, that hurts. Penn
Go
State
ahead,
is
go ahead,
eight and
go ahead,
four.
go ahead.
Penn State's 8-4, and you've got Arkansas coach Scoop in the SEC going 7-5. I feel like just personally, this matchup is tough. I would like to go with Penn State because that running back is is a nightmare. But he's playing against an SEC defense, and I think if there was a, you know, the teams that will be more equipped to handle him, handle might not be the right word. The teams that are better equipped to try to combat him exist in that conference. I think Arkansas has the pieces in place. The question will be Aller. Which version of Aller do we get? They're going to run the ball, but I think ultimately it's going to come down to the passing attack. I kind of feel a little more confident in Arkansas on this one. Not a whole lot, but I feel like Arkansas finds a way to win this game. Get a couple of picks off of Aller and use those to fuel the offense.
Even though I've just made the joke about Nittler and James Franklin being similar, um, I feel like Penn State is going to get the win. Their defense is way better than what Arkansas has seen most of the way through its schedule. Um, their defense is comparable on the game to like a Texas or somebody like that. Um, and so on the game there, I feel like defense is going to win this game, and Penn State is going to win by at least 10 points.
Well, think yeah, and TX brings up a good point. That was kind of what I was thinking. Arkansas puts up points. I mean, they're not trying to stop anybody either, but they put up a lot of points. So, what kind of game are we getting? Are we getting a shootout, or everyone's just letting their hair down and letting it fly? Or are we going to get a low scoring game with
E-
limited possession?
Even if we letting it fly, somebody got to get a stop at some point, and I can see Penn State getting a stop before Arkansas.
That's fair. Home field advantage could play a role in that because the whiteout might be difficult for Arkansas. I know they've seen other, no, really, they've probably seen some pretty good HFAs. Penn State's up there too.
Well, there is a new wrinkle that I saw in the chat that had me delayed before we uh, went to this game here. Homie said he's gonna do a few coin flips for some of these matchups. So
Oh,
um, home field is TBD at this point for certain bowl games. I'm pretty sure he will let the league know what games are going to be coin flips for home field advantage.
interesting. Again, EA. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm gonna be
Get
honest
it
with you.
together. Get it together, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure there is gonna be a battlefield area for TwitchCon, so there will be EA reps there. I promise you guys. I will definitely be talking to them. Get
Please,
this
for us,
crap
please,
fixed, please.
please, and put all the neutral sites on there.
Yes. Next up is a fun matchup, I think, in terms of users, not necessarily the schools. No offense to the schools, but it's cool because they both have their favorite school. But I think in terms of coaching, this is going to be a fun one. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Washington State and Boston College. Coach Lick, of course, head of the media team, the winner of the Pac-12 to whatever you want to call it, back-to-back seasons, double-digit wins, back-to-back seasons, nice offensive system. And then you've got Boston College. I feel that I know a lot of people would probably the first name that would come to mind if you say, "Can we take a team from the G5 and give them an elite team and see what they could do?" Like Chip is probably the first name that comes up to most people. I would like to see Coach Rote come up and get a great team because what he has done with Boston College, I know that's his school, he knows them well, but his user skills are up there in the elite category. I think this is a fun matchup because defensively, I think he could cause some issues for Coach Lick in Washington State. I think this is going to be a really fun chess match.
I feel the same way. And the funny part about this is being an avid watcher of game day, NDL game day, Tim brings up Boston College a lot. And he brings them up and he says, "Oh, they're a tough team. If they were to schedule some lighter teams, they'd be in the playoff and this, that." Well, you're about to see what he's all about up close and personal.
Yeah, this is
You bring
definitely
him
one
up,
that I'm excited for.
you bring him up a lot, and here we are. So I mean, I got Boston College because of that, because of the coach, and the user skills are top notch. And well, both of them are using their team. This game could go into overtime. I can definitely see that. But I got Coach Ronk and Boston College with the victory.
This is a tough one for me. I actually changed my mind a couple times from the list to now. I'm going to go with Boston College with the caveat that we don't have it come down to time management because that game against Alabama still that still hurts me. The craziness at the end of the game, but that's one of those things that I think you learn from and you bounce back. I mean, I've got to play against him, and I have had very few people legitimately leave me confused on offense as to what to do as I've had against him. So I'm really curious to see how he plays defensively in this one. I have Boston College pulling this one out.
All right. The next bowl we have is the Citrus Bowl that was said on game day between Michigan State and Georgia. I was in the comments. I said CG is going to roll by at least 14 points. What say you?
DG's playing some really good football, but there is something to be said for Coach Annie. Like, he's still a great coach too. I know he's had a disappointing season with Georgia. It kind of sucked that early on. A slow start basically just, spelled the end for him. But with that being out the way, just kind of relaxed him. You already know you're not coming back, so now you can just relax and play and have fun. That is when he's at his best. I think offensively, this is going to be a really fun game to watch. But I also agree with you. I think Michigan State is going to win this one.
Yeah. Like I said in the comments, it's CG's time right now. He's all focused, and this is time.
A win here may get him closer to his goal. I don't want to, say what his goal is out loud, but I mean, the extra bonus points could help. So
Yeah.
finish strong, sir. And you have the Las Vegas Bowl. I believe this was talked about on game day as well.
It was. It was.
UConn and Washington. And this is one that intrigued me because Steam was close to making the CFP. And UConn has had a really good season, very quiet for most of it. Had a close game against NC State. That was the big game that we were kind of waiting on schedule wise to see how it would play out for them. But double digit wins. The question that I will have it for you is Washington. You know what they look like. Is it going to be too much for UConn to overcome in terms of talent?
Yes. As we've been saying, speed kills. They go a home run for the Cubs. And speed does kill, and Washington has a lot of it. Williams, the quarterback, Boston, the receiver, Muhammad, I believe, the running back, and one of the other running backs there. Just team speed against UConn will be inferior, and Washington is going to beat them by at least 14 points. It is going to be an old school, like The guys on game day say it's gonna be an old school classic NDL game where tit for tat. It's gonna be close, low scoring, run game. But I feel like Steam has really mastered the run game, especially in that upset over Oregon late in the season. He has mastered the run game, and he's gonna pull out the victory.
Yeah, this is going to be some 90s NFL style football, bruising.
Facts.
And we haven't
Natron
had,
means.
yeah, we haven't had like one of these in a big. So I feel like, oh, even the teams that run the ball generally still score passing. These teams aren't like that. They're just going to keep running the ball. They're going to try to enforce their will. It's going to be a really fast game. I do agree
Hmm.
with you, though. I think Washington, the thing is the home run plays. It's to be able to grind out 3 yards here, 5 yards here. Both teams, I think, will be capable of it. I think it'll be harder for UConn, obviously, because of the trenches, but it's that home run ability. You're as UConn, I just don't see Dave being able to break those big runs for touchdowns. Where Washington, that's a threat a lot. I know Dave is a really good defensive user in the pass game. I haven't really got to see how he plays against the run, so that's one thing that I have circled that I'm going to be watching for in this game. But I also think Washington will end up winning.
This may be one of those games where like Washington games for 225 yards on the ground, but only scored 20 points. It's looking like that type of game. Well, I'm gonna let you take the next one because I can't take the next one. So
Oh
you
no,
you gotta
I
take the next.
I insist.
No, 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 no. You take the next one there.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, we've got the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, and we have the AAC champs, Memphis, Coach Joe,
Oh,
against West Virginia, and my podcast partner, Coach Vic. So one
yes,
with
sir.
double-digit wins, no jokers, finishing strong. Like once he got going during the season, finishes 10-3, does what he needs to do in the conference championship game. Things looking good on both the or through the air and on the ground offensively. And then out of the Big 12, you got West Virginia. They finished 7-5. Mr. Vic, what you thinking?
I'm not thinking a thing. I'm not saying a thing. I'm not giving up nothing. Just in case he listens to this, I'm not saying a thing.
Now,
What do you think about it?
well, I'd feel terrible if I picked Memphis to win. So I have to. I gotta support the podcast partner. Gotta support Vic. So I know the off Memphis offense is definitely a well-oiled machine. It'll be interesting to see how you go about attacking it. I don't. I I'm gonna pick you to win. I'll be watching. You'll have to let me know when you guys play.
I will. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. But I'm not giving up any secrets. I hope it's a well fun game. That's all.
Fair enough.
Next up, uh, this one was talked about as well, which is the Liberty Bowl between Texas Tech and Florida. Both teams have speed. Texas Tech has underrated speed, especially across that D line. I played him last game of the season. That speed definitely surprised me. I didn't know it was that fast. So that defense does have sneaky speed on it. How do you see this one playing out?
Man, two of the funnest games I had on last year's game cycle. And guess what? They were both in the cup. Tulane against Florida with Big Mike, and Tulane against Texas Tech, or not Texas Tech at the time, Iowa with Wild. Both were really, really fun games. And I lost both. They came down to the last possession, but they were so much fun. Both can move the ball offensively. Mike is great on the sticks defensively. Man, I I love what Texas Tech has done, but it is hard for me to go against Big Mike. He's one of my favorite people to play in the league, regardless of how often he beats me. I love watching him play, and Eugene Wilson is a handful. Texas Tech will have to watch out for him. Florida finds a way to get the job done.
I would agree, surprisingly, because you know how I feel about the Gators. And even though I troll him on the Gators, he is one of the most respected users in the league. And I definitely respect him as a user as well. He has great skills, uh, especially on defense. So I'm going to go with Florida, and it's going to be a game winning field goal.
Well, if it's a game-winning field goal, that's you can lock that up. Mike's one of the best kickers. Hash kicks don't even bother that guy. Ice in his vein. All right, so we got two bowls left. We got the Holiday Bowl, the Battle of the States, Oregon State against Arizona State. Doc very quietly doing work at Oregon State. No one really mentions him. I feel bad. We mentioned him in the last episode. He went 5-7. Like just being in the pack, I know they're in limbo. They're not a power conference. They're not technically a group of five conference. They're not really. I mean, I guess they're technically a conference, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Doc has held it down at Oregon State and then Arizona State. Man, the expectations coming into this season, knowing this, like the team gets a big boost, and it started out rough for Chase. He ends up finishing 5-7. He does make a bowl game though, so he has a chance to go out on a good note. I'm not sure what that bank looks like. Hopefully enough. It'd be nice to see him get a run back now that he's had a season with them under his belt. And I'm gonna say that he gets some extra bonus points here. I'm gonna go with my future battlefield brother and trust that he finds a way to get this dub. Maybe he pulls Scatterboo out, just gets someone wearing the jersey number and get that feeling back in the room. Man, that guy's a beast. But I do trust that Arizona State's going to find a way to win this game. I see them winning by a couple of scores.
Gotta boo. Um, I'm gonna go with Chase as well. As long the only key for him, this is no X's and O's, none of that. Like I said in the preseason preview, as long as he doesn't melt down and get in his own head, he will get the victory. Simple as that. It's simply simple as that. As long as he don't get in his own way and melt down, he will get the win.
Yeah, this could be one of those games where you say, hey, give me the ball first. Trust in your offense, get a score, and just kind of helps you relax going into the rest of the game as opposed to defensively giving up a score and then you're already in your head like, well, I'm behind. I have to match. If you don't score, now what happens next? Just take the ball, go down there and get some points, feel good about yourself, and keep that morale high and just keep at it.
All right, and the last bowl up is Tennessee and Miami in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Mayonnaise delight. Um, Tennessee and Coach Vegas, strong season, went 9-3. Miami started hot and then tailed off. Who do you have in this matchup?
This should be a fun one because let's say Joker's I'm thinking about Rocky Top. Oh, that's bad. Mr. Vegas, defense first. Coach C Nasty, offense first. What can Vegas scheme up to slow down Miami's attack? I'm curious to see. Now that you have some time to, coming away from the season, kind of refresh, mentally get a little bit of a break going into the bowl game. I'm kind of curious to see what happens. I like both coaches. I think they're, cool guys. I and defense is just if you're able to do something defensively, I feel like that helps a lot. And I think Vegas can scheme up a couple of stops, whether it be turnovers or getting off the field. And I think that might be enough to get the job done in this one. It should be a fun matchup.
I agree. I agree. I do feel like Vegas is going to come up with some defensive schemes to stop C Nasty in Miami. Another matchup where both coaches are fans of the school. C
Yeah.
Nasty is a Miami fan. Vegas, of course, is a Tennessee fan. I'm going to roll with Tennessee. I don't know why y'all thought I was picking Miami. That is not happening. I'm rolling with Tennessee. And like I said, it's gonna be a defense. It can be a defensive battle. That Miami D line is pretty strong,
Hmm.
so it could be a defensive battle. I do remember the low scoring affair beginning of the season between him and Nebraska, and also a low scoring affair with Notre Dame and Miami. So this could also be low scoring, a good 24-17 type of game, maybe 28-24, something like that. But I got Tennessee coming out on top.
Now, I have two quick questions about this bowl. And I know I'm going to be shamed for this later, and I'm fully accepting of this. If anyone's in the live chat, you're welcome to chime in too. So the first question, Vic, how do you feel about Mayo?
I don't really deal with Mayo.
Okay. My second, okay, there I have to add a second question in. You know who Will Levis is, right?
Yes,
Do you know who he is sponsored by?
Duke's Mayo.
Have you ever, are you a coffee drinker?
No,
If you were, would you ever put mayo in your coffee?
no.
You sound pretty definitive there.
I was.
I will say I also do not like mayo. Like I absolutely hate it. It's torture. Just torture. I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't hate it, but I'm I guess I'm more of an energy drink guy. I rarely do it. I just kind of tough it out. I feel like it's more of a mental thing. But I have tried mayo and coffee. And I think that we should petition for the winner of the Mayo Bowl to do the same on camera. How do you feel about that?
The winner. Oh wow.
Oh, actually,
That
no,
makes
you're
you want
right. The loser.
the
The loser.
loser. The
Yeah.
loser. Yeah, I was just about to say we're gonna punish the loser by having mayo and coffee. I'm all for it if they want to agree to it. I'm all for it.
It is one of the I don't even know how to describe when I heard that, like, I mean, I like Kentucky. That's, my second favorite school. If I had to rank them, well behind Nebraska, but second favorite. And I remember seeing that video for the first time and I was just like grossed out. But then I was convinced to try it. Um, Maybe I'll send you the video of it later. I don't think I want to post that in the live chat, but I think you might get a kick out of it. I have to find it. It was pretty. It was pretty interesting.
I bet it was mayo and coffee. I, you know, no, I'm not trying that. No, no.
um, and TX says, undercover brother, the quote, "You got to learn to like mayonnaise." Boy, oh boy, that movie. Oh man. Uh, I'll leave you with the last word, sir.
Ah, well, hopefully everybody plays their bowl games here. We got some interesting matchups, and and everything like that. Um, Hopefully, we have some great bowl games and everybody play your bowl game. Simple as that.
All right. Well, we will see you guys on Wednesday due to certain life things. We'll be chatting on Wednesday, hopefully for sure, not putting any pressure on anyone, but hopefully for sure we can get that Missouri State LSU game played. And then we have awards that we like to give out for the G5 teams for the season, our second annual version of the Audis. So we'll have that next episode as well, and we'll cover any of the G5 teams that have played a bowl game. So good luck to everyone, and thanks for listening.
Thanks, you guys. See you later.